Welcome back to Perks Recap, the podcast edition. This is week 13 in the NFL 2024 season. We're going to preview week 13, all the matchups, every game, every team. Al, how you doing?
Awesome, man. Awesome. Coming off a crazy week in the NFL. Such a good week. We have Thanksgiving Day. We've got a first Friday game of the year. We've got all kinds of stuff. No buys this week, so busy week in the NFL.
Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday
Love it.
by far.
Right there with you, my friend.
All right. You get to see all your family. You get to eat great food. There's football on, and you don't got to buy gifts for anybody.
Yeah, man. Yes, you don't end up having to work your ass off for 2 months to pay for the holiday. And I love the food. Love the food.
Okay, man, if you're ready, you want to take the reins here for week 13?
You got it, my man. So we got 3 games on Thanksgiving. First one, 12:30, Bears at Lions. What do you think?
Well, the Bears, this is, we said this last week with Cleveland and Pittsburgh that Cleveland has no chance to win this game, but it was a division game. And here we have another division game, and I don't think Chicago has a chance in hell.
I love it.
Can they play well? Because Caleb has been playing a little better, sure. But I don't think they're going to really keep it, that close. Detroit's just so much better, and they're at home. Detroit is rolling. I'll be surprised. I'll be shocked if Chicago wins, but I'll be surprised even if it's that close. I have Detroit 30-17.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Just because I want to watch Caleb Williams play a whole game with this new offensive coordinator and see what looks different because I haven't been able to see a full Bears game. You know, you watch the highlights, but I want to watch a whole game of him with this new situation. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm impressed with the Bears the last few weeks, but I'm not impressed enough to pick them against the Lions at home. No chance. I'm gonna make it closer than my logic center of my brain tells me, and I don't know why. I'm just gonna do it because probably because we got so butt hurt by that divisional game thing last week. I'm going to make it 27-20, and that doesn't feel like a big enough spread, honestly.
Right, right. I have 30-17. Um, so a little bigger, but yeah, this will be shocking if Detroit doesn't win this game. So they just don't seem like a team that's going to stumble.
I agree. I mean, and maybe, and a lot of teams look like that, and then they do, but I just don't, I don't see this week being the week.
Right, right. Okay. Well, the next game is the Cowboys and Giants. Now, on the previous podcast, I mentioned that I'm torn. I can never really go against my team to lose, but I do want a better pick. So I don't really care if they lose, but I'll be rooting for them to win. And the Giants are such a mess. You would think that Dallas should win and maybe even win handily because the Giants are just so bad. But Dallas has not won a game at home, and they are at home.
Craig, I'm so sorry, but I need to interrupt you. And this is not a baseball podcast, but did you see that there was a big signing and it wasn't Soto?
No.
Holy smokes. Breaking
Who?
news,
Well,
folks. Breaking
who is
news.
it?
Blake Snell and the Dodgers agree to a 5-year,
Oh my
hundred
God!
5-year, $182 million deal, Craig.
What the hell?
What the hell?
The effing Dodgers?
Unbelievable, dude.
Oh my
Unbelievable.
God! Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable. I just had ESPN on in the background while we're talking, doing our thing, and it just flashed by, and I almost fell off my chair.
Oh my God! Blake Snell to the Dodgers. Mike.
Woo.
Well, at least he sucks the first 3 months of the year every year.
Yeah. I was just, it's so funny because I was going to say, well, we better get the Dodgers early.
Yeah, because he turns it on from like June 1st on.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Sometimes later, sometimes like July 1st on.
Totally, man. Totally. Isn't that interesting?
It's interesting, but it's also frustrating. Like,
Ooh,
what more
buddy.
do they need? My God.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Real quick, last thing about this. Do you think that takes them out of the Soto thing or no?
They can't be in on Soto, right?
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But they have
But
a
you
lot of
never know. You never know.
they have a lot of money and he's a great player, so I don't know. But yeah, it does. I mean, who knows? I'm flabbergasted by that signing. Blows me away.
Yep.
All right.
Uh,
Sorry. I interrupted you during the cowboy thing, so please go back to that, but I thought that was worthy of an interruption.
Absolutely, it was. No, I was just saying, Dallas. That you would think they're going to win this game because the Giants are such a mess. But I can see the Giants firing up for this game because of the backlash that they got from the media this week, especially in the effort department. So
Yeah.
I'm expecting a big effort from them, at the very least.
That makes a lot of sense, my man. That I that really does.
Where
And
their own players are saying they're soft, so I'm not expecting soft. I'm not expecting players to give up on plays. The biggest thing for the Giants would be, and the Cowboys, whoever scores first, I think, is very important, and it all pertains to the Giants. If they go down 7-0 or 3-0 early, like on the first drive, they could get deflated right off the bat, and it's a blowout.
yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. They
But
need to be
if they go up early for the first time in 6 games, because they haven't had a lead in 6 games of
That's
any kind,
crazy.
that'll be, hey, this is different, and maybe they'll carry them to a close competitive game, maybe even a win.
Yeah. All right, that's great analysis. I agree with everything you said 100%. And to add on to what you said too, it if they score early, it allows them to lean into Tyrone Tracy. And they need to be able to run the ball. They have to, and if they get behind, that goes away. And so I'm with you 100%. That's great.
Now,
Did
having
you
said that, I am picking Dallas 21-13,
21-13? Okay, okay.
but my
All right.
upset pick is the Giants.
Ooh, I like it. Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, listen, I agree. That was awesome analysis. So I'm not going to say a whole lot because you hit everything right on the head. The only thing I want to add to it is that the Cowboys' defense is now more intact than I think it's been almost all season.
Oh yeah, well, Bland played his first game last week.
Yeah, I mean they're missing. What's the defensive end that's out for the season?
Oh well, yeah. I
Demarcus
mean,
Lawrence.
yeah, they're missing him. He's out for the year.
So that's obviously
So
a big guy out. But other than him, I mean, they're as healthy as they've been in a long time, right?
yes,
And it
especially
showed
at
last week.
corner, especially
It
at corner.
Yes, and it certainly showed last week. They were able to make key plays in crunch time and make some and a lot of good amount of sacks. So um, that alone is enough for me. That and them being at home is enough for me to pick them against this just miserable Giants team. And I think I like your analysis about the effort thing after getting slammed this week. Um, the one place I think that matters because they're so bad, I don't think even with effort it's going to matter much. But where it does matter is that awesome defensive line. So if they can come up with like a 4+ sack game, they might be able to win this thing. But I think that's the kind of thing it's going to take for them to hang. So I'm going boys 23-15, and a chunk of that 15 comes at the end, and it's really not close.
Okay,
All right, my man. Next one. We go the 8 o'clock game on Thanksgiving. And this one, boy, did this get a lot better than it looked like it was going to be a few weeks ago. Dolphins at Green Bay at the Packers.
totally agree. I mean, Dolphins have turned it around. They're looking good. They're looking like we thought they'd look all year from the beginning. Um, Tua looks like himself. But I do think the fact that they're going on the road, it might be quite cold, especially at night. They're not a good cold weather team. Tua's not a good cold weather quarterback, to be honest.
Yeah.
And Green Bay is very, very good. So I can't pick Miami to win this one, even though they're playing well. So I have Green Bay winning 27-21.
Okay, okay. Yeah, listen, I echo a lot of what you said. This is the Dolphins' resurgence is real, and their defense is way better than it was last year when they were a contender for a little while. But it's not like they have vaulted themselves into one of the top five teams in the league or anything. They're just a lot better. I think they're they're a bottom end seed playoff contender now. But this is not a week where that's going to help them in the standings. Green Bay, I'm going to make it close, 28-25.
Okay.
And my question mark at the end of that sentence shows my confidence in that score. But I do like Green Bay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, man. And then on Friday, first Friday game. I still don't know how I feel about these Friday games, but
Well, get used to it because it ain't going nowhere now.
no doubt, my friend, no doubt. We have the Raiders at the Chiefs, and by the way, since this has become a theme with us talking about these Chiefs, the point spread this week is 13 and a half.
Bet everything you have on the Raiders.
I knew it, and I like it, and I'm not going to doubt it anymore.
There's no evidence to suggest Kansas City can win a big spread, point spread. They haven't done it all year. I don't think they did it last year either. I think it's been 2 years where they've had like a point spread of like or more where they covered it.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know that stat, but that you might be right.
Well, if it isn't, I don't remember it, and it doesn't feel like it.
I would agree with that. I agree on the feel for sure. For sure.
So the Raiders stink. If there was a team that they can do it against, it would be the Raiders. They are at home, but this is a division game again. Here we go again. Division games. I'm going Chiefs. They'll find the way like they always do. But screw that 13 points. I'm going 28-23.
Love it. Love it.
Carolina almost put them in overtime.
I love it. Now do you know the like the 12-step program definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be insane, okay? I am gonna take one of these weeks. It's all gonna come together for the Chiefs, and no better time to try and pick it in my mind than against maybe the worst team in football with their backup quarterback. I still might be off my freaking rocker because there's no evidence they can do this. But I'm going to go Chiefs, and I'm going 30-12. Let's go.
Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe it'll finally happen. Like I will say this. This is if it's going to happen, this would definitely be the week.
I agree. And if it doesn't happen this
Everything
week,
is
Greg,
pointing to them.
yeah, this will cure my insanity if it doesn't happen this week.
Yeah. Everything is pointing to it this week. Okay.
Totally, man, totally. And I'm strengthened by one of my favorite fantasy football analysts, a guy named Andrew Erickson from the Fantasy Pros, who drafted Jalen Waddle, refused to jump off the ship all year, and then won a massive ladder bet on his yardage this week because he refused to hop off the train and won back a lot of the money he had lost on him all year.
Ah,
So I'm gonna follow his example and ride the train until it runs off the track.
okay.
Now, now we get to go to the Sunday games, 1 o'clock, and boy, one of these teams we can't figure out, Craig. Texans at the Jaguars. Now, is there a better team to get right against? I'm not sure, but what do you think about this one?
Trevor Lawrence is still out, right?
I'm gonna look. I haven't heard anything definitive. I'll look it up while you're talking.
Well, now it's my turn to be insane because Houston lost to a really bad team last week at home. Made Will Levis look good. Um, I still hold on to hope for them. It's fading. I'm not nearly as confident. Jacksonville is at home. I think Lawrence. I know he got hurt, but to be honest, I don't remember if he came back the last couple weeks or not.
No, they had a bye last week, so he was out the week prior to that. Mac Jones started.
Right.
I think he only missed one game, if I remember right. So he had the one game and a bye week, if I'm right.
Okay. So is he back?
Oh no, I'm sorry, he missed two games, Craig. I just found it. He missed two games, and he is returned to. Wait, hold on one sec here. He returned to practice, but status is uncertain.
Well, that's probably a good sign.
Yeah, it's a possibility for sure.
Right. It's not going to affect my pick. But I have Houston in a close game because I can't pick them to win big against anybody at this point. They got to show me now. I'm going 26-24 Houston in a very
Okay, right,
tight game.
right on, right on. Yeah, that's going to be that's a big whether Lawrence plays or not because even though he's not been awesome, he's better than Mac Jones. So yeah, that'll be big for them.
Yes.
Yeah, and this Texans team is falling apart, and I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of it. But like I said, introing this game is I don't know. There's not a whole lot of teams you'd rather try and get right against than the Jaguars. So and their defense. I mean, they gave up a lot of points to Tennessee last week, but they got 8 sacks and a pick six. So you know, there's something isn't adding up. I don't know what's going on, but I'm picking the Texans, and I'm picking them 21-10, and I'm picking them only to give up 10 points because I have zero faith in the Jags offense. Now, if Trevor Lawrence plays, I would change the score, but I won't caveat it because that's ridiculous. But I would probably make it like 21-17 or something if if Trevor Lawrence plays. But I'm going to take the Texans and hope they can get right.
Yep. Yep. I tell you what, they lose this game. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. And while we're talking about them, let me pull up the AFC South standings because there's nobody. I mean, they would have to. It would something like the Jaguars and the Titans are Jags are 2-9, Titans are 3-8. So they're both totally out of this whole discussion. The Texans are 7-5. The closest team to them are the Colts at 5-7, with an Anthony Richardson who can't complete 50% of his passes. So they're going to have a eagle like collapse from last year to not win this terrible division.
Yeah, and it'd be an early exit in the playoffs.
Yeah, right now. I mean, if they don't right the ship, they're limping into the playoffs right around 500, give or take, and an easy out, like you said. All right, moving on. We have next the Colts at the Patriots. Speaking of Mr. Richardson,
Yep, and the Colts have annoyed me. They're Richardson. I don't know what's going on, and I've actually picked New England more than I should have, but I'm picking them again.
aha,
I'm going Patriots 17-16 in a game that I will not watch and have no interest in,
that's awesome.
other than
That's awesome.
Drake May
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and to
and
see if Anthony
Richardson, just to
Richardson can
see,
complete a pass.
yeah, just to see what Richardson does coming off that bad week. You got to imagine he'll be a little better. He'll be a little better, but I was kind of on the fence on this one, but I went with the old theory that we used to always employ, and we still sometimes do. New England's at home, so that's what I'm going with.
Right on, right on. Yeah, this was an interesting one to pick for me too. The Colts are a 2.5 point favorite on the road. That's a really low line against such a bad team as the Patriots. That shows you how little they think of the Colts. And they're the only contender, by the way, to the Texans in that South Division. So that's how easy a road the Texans have if they can just grab it. But oddly enough, Craig, I went the same way here. Now I haven't picked the Patriots once this season, but this is the time for me because Anthony Richardson, man, if he plays like he did 2 weeks ago when he came off his benching, he played incredible.
Yep.
Then this whole pick goes out the window. But if he plays anything close to like he did every other game this year, I can see the Pats winning for sure. And I'm going to make it close like you, 23-20 Patriots.
Yeah, I think this is the game that is like guaranteed more than any other game to be a close game because these teams, kind of suck equally.
Yeah, that's perfect. That is, and I agree. I really
and, and
agree.
and and the team that might be that's probably a little better in the Colts, they're the road team, so that kind of brings them back down a little, and that makes them pretty much even with New England in Suckville.
Yeah, and add the anchor of a quarterback that you don't know if he's going to be able to complete one out of three passes.
Yeah,
And
he
I'm
didn't do
with you.
that last week.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I'm with you 100%. This game screams equality, and which means, of course, one of these teams will win 42-0.
Right, right, right.
But I'm with you, man. Everything screams what you're saying. All right, man. Ready to move on?
Yep.
All right. One of the more interesting games of the week to me: Chargers at Falcons.
This was a tough one for me to pick.
Oh, right there with you.
This was tough. Um, the Falcons. We talked about the Chargers. They didn't lose much in our opinion of them playing Baltimore last week. They need a bounce back. It is on the road, but Atlanta, I just don't know what to make of Atlanta. They look good. They look bad. They're another one of these teams. Talk about a muck. They're right in the muck. You don't know what you're getting week to week, like so many others. I just went with a more consistent team, the team that I think is the better team on a neutral field, even though they're on the road. I went with the Chargers. They need a bounce back. They're a good team. They're going to be in the playoffs, I think, and they're going to bounce back again. After losing to Baltimore in a tough game, a game where they were definitely outclassed on the field talent wise, and Baltimore hit their stride, so they lost that one. I think the Chargers bounce back and win 27-26.
Ooh,
One
I like
point
it.
game. 1 point
Like
game.
it. Very cool. Okay. So this Falcons team was 6-3 and was looking super impressive about a month ago.
Yep.
And that has all fallen apart. They are their last game before they were on a bye. Yeah, they had their bye last week. Their game before the bye, they lost 38-6 to the Broncos. And I mean, nothing against the Broncos; they're a good team, but we thought the Falcons were too. They shouldn't lose 38-6,
Yep.
And they lost to the damn Saints the week before that. So I don't know what's going on in Falcon Land. Maybe they can right the ship during the bye. But I'm actually with you, man. I'm not picking it. I'm taking the Chargers on the road. I think they're a super solid team, and the one thing the Falcons are is not solid. They've been very good and they've been very bad, but they have not been a steady ship by any means. So I'm going to take the steady ship and make it 33-26.
Oh, okay. We have the same score for the Falcons,
Yeah,
26.
totally, man. Totally, yeah. All right. Now, moving on to Seattle at the New York Jets.
Talk about a disaster. They're talking about Rodgers not playing any the rest of the way, like possibly even getting cut.
I don't know what to make of that situation. He says the weirdest stuff because he's saying he might want to come back to New York now next year. Like like they even want him.
Yeah, they might not want him.
I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, but it would be weird to me to run this whole thing back.
I mean, they need a GM and a coach. They hired some agency
Oh,
to help them.
can we talk about that for a second, Craig?
What is it? The 23. What the hell's the name of the agency?
Age 33.
33, and it's
So
run by Mike Tannenbaum.
who's an
Who was
idiot?
who was their former GM?
He's a moron too. He
But
stinks.
the other guy that runs it is what's his face? The guy who I really like.
Rick
There's
Spielman.
another. Yes, Spielman. And to be honest, if I was the Jets, since they're going to be working with this group, I would just be like, "Hey, Spielman, why don't you just come and take the GM? Don't help us search for a GM. Why don't you just become the GM?"
That's interesting. Yeah, I'd have to look back at Spielman some more to see how I actually feel about him. I'm really not sure. Um,
He's been in the league right along, and he's had some success in the offices, offices and the teams he's been a part of. I think he was already a GM somewhere where it went not great, but not terrible either. I think he'd be solid, and then he could pick his own coach too. You got to hire the GM first, I think, and you can't doesn't need necessarily need to be a package deal where it's like this GM comes with this coach, or vice
That's
versa.
that's interesting, man. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, no, that's interesting. So he was the GM of the Vikings for like 10 years.
Yep.
That's what it was. He drafted Adrian Peterson. That's a pretty nice credit.
Yeah.
Um, so he was the GM for starting in from 2010 to 2000 to 2019. 2010 to 2019. So I'd have to go back and look at everything to see exactly how I feel about him. But I can guarantee you this: no matter what his credentials are, I think more of him than I do Mike Tannenbaum.
Yeah.
The only
Absolutely.
New York GM I think less of than Mike Tannenbaum is Dave Gettleman.
There's a lot of people in that 33 thing. There's
Yeah,
a
it's
lot.
interesting. I never even heard. Did you know anything about that before they just?
No,
I didn't either.
Rondé Barber's in there involved in that too.
It's fascinating. I mean, what do they? What happens? Like, what do they do? Like, what do all? Like who makes the decisions? I mean, is it Rondé, Tannenbaum, and Spielman sitting around a coffee shop talking about who the best hire is? Like, I'm curious how that all works. I've never heard of this before. It's just fascinating to me.
Me neither. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where they end up. Um, as for the game, listen, I've been snake bitten enough. I've tried to believe in the Jets as much as I can, and I'm off the train there. Seattle, hopefully, is is riding the ship. Another one of the teams that we talked about, good and bad, back hopefully now riding it, getting back to where they were at the beginning of the year. If that's the case, they're the much better team because the Jets are another dumpster fire. 27-19 Seahawks.
Okay, very cool. Um, Yeah, I'm with you, man. I just can't. It would have to be a really bad team for me to pick the Jets right now, and if they'd have to be at home against somebody like Carolina or the Jaguars or the Raiders or something, and even that I wouldn't do very confidently. So, Seattle has at least proven to be a decent team this year. They're hard to get a read on when they're going to win and when they're going to lose, but they're way better than the Jets. So I'm going to take Seattle. I'm going to make it close because of the West Coast, East Coast thing, but it's going to be 28-23 Seattle.
Okay.
All right, next one. And talk about a team that needs to get right, Craig. Titans at Commanders.
Woo. Well, Tennessee stinks. So this is the game to get right. They're back home again, second week in a row. I mean, let's face it, last week was craziness. Um, either team could have won at any given time. Um, but Dallas is a bad team, but Tennessee's probably even worse. Like if Dallas was playing Tennessee, I would probably take Dallas.
Yeah,
Um,
if it was at home for sure, I'd have to think about it on the road, but I might take them anyway.
yeah. So I'm gonna go Washington to finally get another win, get off the snide. I don't know what the future holds, but this is a game. First of all, here's another thing. They need this game. They have to win this game. This is a must.
It really
They
is.
must win this game. So I think that sense of urgency will be there. So I'm going to give this one to Washington, 20. But I'm not going to, I'm not waxing poetic here. 20-16. It's a close one, but I think it might even be like 20-9 or something, and they score a touchdown late to make it look a little better. Might be more like a garbage time touchdown. But either way, Washington 20-16.
Okay. That's interesting. For the second game in the last three, we have one of the team scores exactly the same. I'm going to go Commanders 24-16.
Oh,
And
cool.
uh, and listen, I agree with almost everything you said. I mean, pretty much everything actually. Not almost everything. They are the Commanders are in dire need here, and I'm curious to see how they can step up. Now, the Titans are a bad team, but they just did come off a big win over the Texans. Now the Texans are reeling, but they're still a low end playoff team. So
And their defense is not terrible.
no, their defense is has been they're an odd statistical anomaly where they're very good at yardage and not so good at points, but they've been a very tough defense to move the ball against this year. So yeah, it's but all that being said, man, unless the Commanders are on their way to missing the playoffs, they're going to win this game. So I'm with you. Uh, and I said my
It's
score.
Yeah, this is a must. This is a must win.
Yeah, yeah, we're going to find out a lot about this team, like what like how good is the offensive coordinator? What does he have in a game that they need? How good is Jaden Daniels at this point in his career? How good
Yep.
is oh, by the way, man, we didn't talk about it in the review of last week, but did you see that horrible concussion Eckler took on that kickoff return towards the end of the game?
Yeah, that was terrible.
Oh, I felt so bad for him, man. And apparently that was his. I forgot he had one earlier this year, so he's had two this year now. And he went to the hospital on that one, and I just feel terrible for him because
What about Brian Robinson? He didn't play, right?
he rolled his ankle early in the game, tried to come back, and
Right,
then
he played right, and then he came out, and yeah, and they had to go back out, and he never came back after that.
yeah. So they might
Are
not
they
have
down
either of
both of
those
them?
guys this week.
Are they going to not have either one?
They definitely there's not a chance in hell Eckler's going to come back after his second concussion in a season in 1 week. So figure him being out for sure. Let me see if there's any.
Shit, man, if they don't have either one, they run the ball a lot. That's going to be hard for them.
And you know who their starting running back is without either of those guys? Jeremy McNichols.
I'm tempted to caveat now, but I'm not gonna. They need it. They need it too much. I still say they're gonna win it, but geez, this is not good. This is not good at all.
Here's the update. It's not much of one, but it says new Brian Robinson Jr. injury update provides glimmer of hope for Commanders. So there's at least some chance he'll play this week. It sounds like.
Okay.
But yeah, that's big. I'm not going to caveat either, but maybe I should.
Right. Right.
All right, man. Moving on. And one of the contenders for game of the week in my mind, uh, Steelers at Bengals.
Okay. I don't understand something here.
Yeah, hit me. And I think I know what you're going to say, so hit me with it.
Have you seen the point spread?
That's exactly where I knew you were heading. And tell them what it is because I was as surprised as you apparently are.
When I looked at it yesterday, Pittsburgh is what's their record?
Oh, shoot. Let me pull it up real quick.
Can you get both the records?
You got it.
Thank you.
We got Steelers are 8-3, and the Bengals are 4-7.
Okay, you got a 4-7 team hosting an 8-3 team. It is in Cincinnati, but Pittsburgh is getting 3 points.
Yeah, I'm right.
Cincinnati is a 3-point favorite in this game. How?
Yeah, it's fascinating. I don't get it at all. It's a really weird one. Um, I don't know what to make of it. Although, I mean, listen, the Bengals offense has been on fire for like what about a month now, something like that, ever since they played the Eagles, and that's I think 3 or 4 games in a row it's been on fire. But it hasn't translated to wins. So I don't know what I can't. That one doesn't. This one almost jumps out to me. Like some. Remember, I kept talking about those weird Falcon point spreads
Yeah.
and I finally listened to it and went against it and I got it right. But this almost feels like one of those that's so obvious in one direction that I should take it the other way, but I'm not. So you what do you think about this one, man? Because that point,
Yeah, man.
I'm glad you brought it up.
Is it because they lost to Cleveland last week?
That's definitely part of it. It's got to be, you know.
But I mean, the week before that, they beat Baltimore.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm going Pittsburgh, man. They're a better team, in my opinion. Cincinnati Burrow is on fire, but Pittsburgh's defense is very good, and you always pick the defense over the offense. And plus, they're just a better team. Their record is much better. They're headed to the playoffs. They're winning the division, or right there with Baltimore. And I can't see how they're a 3-point underdog, but I'm going Pittsburgh. 23-21, a close one. 23-21.
Right on, right on. Yeah, man. Listen, I'm so glad you brought that up because it jumped off the page at me big time. So honestly, I should probably stick with my own damn theory here and take the Bengals. But I just don't see it. So I'm taking the Steelers. But remember we talked about this last week is if the Bengals win, every time I say something like this from now on, I'm taking that one that jumps off the spread at me as the crazy thing, and I'm picking that team.
Yes.
But all that being said, I'm taking the Steelers, and I'm making it super close, 27-26 Steelers.
Yep. I got a 2-point game. You got a 1-point game.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be fascinating, man. I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Looking forward to that.
Big time, dude, big time. Oh, you know what? I just had a thought about why that point spread might be what it is, Craig. Let me look something up real quick, and then I'll hit you with
Sure.
it. Ooh, it just hit me like a flash of lightning. What is your deal? Boom.
Injury?
Yes, and I'm talking about Joey Porter Jr.
Oh, yeah. I remember he got hurt. Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the best corners in football, and if he's out, that certainly would affect a team that wants to pass. Would help the team that wants to pass the ball 45 times a game, the Bengals.
Yep.
I'm not seeing anything, so he must be all right. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure real quick because that was the
Yep.
only that might have helped explain that a little bit in my mind, but that's not even it. So I don't know what it is. All right, moving on. Now, another interesting game. Not quite as interesting as that last one, maybe, but pretty cool. Cardinals, another team that you and I can't figure out all season long, at the Vikings.
Right. Well, Arizona, I picked them last week. They bit me in the butt losing to Seattle. Um, they are very difficult to figure out. Minnesota seems to be another team riding the ship, as I keep saying now. Bad, good again. Sam Darnold went through this weird, 3, 4 week stretch where he could not stop turning the ball over. That seems to have been corrected. And they're at home. Arizona is just too up and down for me to take them. They're too inconsistent. Could they win this game? Absolutely. But I'm going with what I think the percentages to me favor Minnesota. I think Minnesota is gonna take care of business here and win 28-20 with Darnold's continued improved play from where he was a month ago or three
Right,
weeks ago.
right on. And I agree with a lot of what you said. But this Cardinals team is so hard to figure out. And I'm not the one that got burnt by them recently, so I'm not I'm not feeling it, the heat from it. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
maybe I'd probably feel a lot different if I had. The uh, the other thing is the Vikings have now squeaked by the Colts, Jaguars, Titans, and Bears in the last 4 weeks. And now that all might be going away because of everything you said. Darnold stopped easing up on the turnovers. But I'm just going to go. This is just a gut pick because I can't figure out the Cardinals all year. So in a game that clearly looks like they should lose, I'm going to pick them to win 24-23.
Nice. With even though we've picked some underdogs and that's our first one that we were picking differently.
I know that's because I really thought we'd have a lot of some differences with the underdogs. I went with this week, but you were right there. We were right there with each other.
Yeah, the big underdog of Pittsburgh.
You're right. Yeah, but I mean, who would have guessed both of us pick the Patriots in any given week?
That's true.
That's the first time that's happened since we started this podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice. Okay. Now we get to move to 4 o'clock, and we have the Rams at the Saints.
Yeah, tough to figure out. The Saints, they're at home, but the Rams need this. They're coming off the loss to the Eagles. They still have playoff hopes. They're fading. I'm not sure if they're going to make it, but they need this one to even keep that glimmer of hope alive. They have to win this game. Pressure's on, and New Orleans isn't very good.
Yeah.
So even at home, I'm going to go the Rams 30-21.
Oh, interesting. All right, very cool. So now I will say this. I'm not impressed by the Saints at all this year, but they have gotten 2 wins in a row off that new coach bump.
Yes.
Now, we also know, I think, from past experience that new coach bump generally doesn't last very long. So, this is not a game I'm going to pick them to win. No way. I just think too highly of the Rams compared to them. And check this out. I'm going Rams 31-20.
So I say 30-21, and you say 31-20. That's awesome.
Isn't that funny? We were the mirror image of each other. Love it, man. Yeah, this is just a get right game for the Rams to me, but we'll see.
Hopefully. But so that means the Saints are going to win, by the way.
Yeah, totally, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if and all the everything that another NFC West team just blows our perception of them entirely.
Yes.
All right, moving on. We have Tampa Bay at Carolina.
The suddenly resurgent Panthers.
No doubt.
They won 2 in a row and then took the Chiefs to the limit,
Yes. Yes. How about that?
only to come back home and lose to Tampa Bay.
Nice. Nice.
Because that's what's going to happen.
Nice.
I have Tampa Bay 23-17. Put a little respect on Carolina, keeping it relatively close. It may even go into overtime at 17-17. Tampa scores a touchdown, and that's why it's 23-17. I think they're going to keep it close. I think Carolina is getting more and more viable every week. They're playing a lot better, and I think they're still probably going to lose most games, but they might be more in more of these games than you might think.
Yeah, listen, that's spot on, man. And don't look now, but Bryce Young has been playing okay football.
Yes,
Better than he has in his
and
very brief
I
career.
hope that works out for him.
I do too.
I really do.
I'm rooting for it, man. I thought he was going to be good coming out. Was stunned at how bad it was so far. He's dealt with some tough situation. There was a horrible team and a tough coaching situation last year. Um, that benching did something, you know. So, I hope it works out for him too. But I don't think it's going to this week. I'm going to take the Bucks, and I'm going to go 38-28. The Bucks offense, as long as they have Mike Evans, is really good, man. They're running backs. Bucky Irving, by the way, one
Bucky Irving's a player, man.
dude. I mean, what the heck? I mean, he's all but taken the job from Rashad White, who had a heck of a rookie season last year, and they have a nice little complimentary split going on, but with Bucky clearly taking like the 3-quarter lead the last game or two,
Yeah, but
and
that's a nice backfield though.
it is. It's really they're both good they're both good pass catchers, and Bucky's a very good runner. Rashad's an okay runner, but Bucky's a very good runner. So yeah, it's a heck of a backfield, man. And you bring Mike Evans back, and they have enough passing threat to make them really really dangerous. So yeah, yeah. I'm gonna. Did I tell you the score?
Yeah, 38-28.
Got it. All right, sweet. All right, man. Now, the last of the 4 o'clock games, and arguably, I don't even know if it's arguably the game of the week. Eagles at Ravens.
Not no argument for me. It is definitely the game of the week. It
Right
is
on.
the one I'm looking forward to watching. Especially Dallas plays on Thursday, so this is on Sunday. I'll have nothing to really sink my teeth into until this game kicks off. Um, yeah, just a great matchup. It is in Baltimore. Baltimore is coming off one of their better games of the year, and we talked about when they play really well, they look like they're Super Bowl winners.
They
So,
really do. I mean,
right.
absolutely. I agree 100%.
Well, when they play bad, it seems like they can lose to anybody. So, but I'm expecting them to be pretty hyped for this game. They know what the Eagles can do. This is going to be. Now that I'm thinking about it more, I don't like my score, but I'll leave it the way it is. I'm actually going to go Ravens. I'm going Ravens because they're at home. And I'm going Ravens, but a real close one, 26-24. What I'm thinking about, I'm not going to redo it officially, but I would, now that I'm thinking about it more, I'm thinking it's going to be more high scoring. So I would think more like 34-31 or
Okay.
34-30, something like that. But I'll stay with my 26-24. Um, Yeah, I think. By the way, for a non-fan, just a football fan watching this game, this is just going to be enjoyable. Like, I can't wait for this one. It's going to be fun, and either team can win. Obviously, I leaned a little bit into the home team aspect of it, but either team can win. They almost feel like Baltimore is regarded the same way in the AFC, the same way the Eagles are in the NFC. They do it differently, but
Yeah.
they're regarded like I think Detroit's probably the a little above the Eagles right now, and they're next, and I would say probably Buffalo or Kansas City is one, but I'm not impressed with Kansas City. In the AFC, and right next would be Baltimore.
Yeah, no, it's a reasonable comparison for sure. And you have the fact that you have two of the best running backs in football. You have two mobile quarterbacks that can pass, and
Yeah,
yeah,
when
there's
you
a
think
lot.
about it, the running backs, one is number one, the other one's number two.
Exactly, exactly. Now the Eagles have a couple clear advantages on their roster, and like which receiving core would you take? And I don't think it's even close, right?
Right? No, no, no. I would definitely go Eagles.
Yeah. And the Eagles defense is light years ahead of the Ravens this year. Now, all that being said, I can't pick the Eagles on the road to beat the Ravens. It's tough. I mean, I think they could easily win this game, but it's a
No
tough one
doubt,
to
no
pick.
doubt.
I kind of like what you were saying about the decent scoring game. I went very close, like you did, just a little higher, 28-27 Ravens, but Eagles are my upset pick.
Okay. How much are they underdogs? It can't be much.
2.5.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I could definitely see the Eagles getting this done. There's no doubt about it. For the second time in the week, I went by the home team aspect, the home team and thing that we do sometimes when it's tough to pick. Just go with the home team.
Yeah, man, and like I can make like if you just break down the statistics of both teams, you pick the Eagles. But the Ravens are at home, and they're just coming off a stellar performance.
And
So
I would still regard Jamal. Um, oh my God,
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar. Thank you, Jesus. Why did I say Jamal? Lamar a little higher than Hurts,
Oh, for
and the
sure, for
quarter
sure.
and the quarterbacks, mean a little more when you have the better quarterback and you're at home. So, again, I could definitely see the Eagles winning this game. It's going to be a good one. And yeah, we both landed on the Ravens. Both wouldn't be surprised if we got this one wrong.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I just hope it's as good a game as it looks on the surface because it should be a barn burner,
Yeah,
man.
I agree.
All right, moving on to Sunday night. And I'm going to look into see if there's any injury updates on one of the quarterbacks in this game while you take the lead on this. 49ers at Bills.
You got to think when they were making the schedule out, Sunday Night Football was ecstatic
Oh,
to
yeah.
get
How
to get
about it?
Niners Bills in Week 13. They're both going to be great. They're both going to be vying for the number one seed in their conference. And now this becomes a ho hum kind of a pick. Easily Buffalo. They're at home. It's going to be cold. Hopefully it's snowing. And I go Buffalo 30-17. Even if Brock Purdy's playing, I'm still going Buffalo. But what is the Purdy update if that's what you're looking up? I assume.
Yes. So it's confusing. It's muddy because yesterday the headline was Shanahan shares positive update on 49ers QB Purdy after loss. The headline today is 49ers Brock Purdy gets second MRI on throwing shoulder.
Oh, jeez.
That's never good news. So, we're just reading tea leaves right now, but I wouldn't count on him playing after getting a second MRI.
Yeah, I agree.
And their backup did not look any kind of impressive at all. So,
Not at
yeah.
all. He's no
So,
Cooper Rush.
yeah, no, that's right. That's right. Now, hey, maybe he has that second game surge that Cooper did, but I'm not going to count on it.
Right, because Cooper definitely looked like ass the first game.
Yeah, and Cooper had a track record though, unlike this guy. Cooper played well 3 years ago when he had his chance. It's kind of on us for not figuring out that he might need a game to look like a player again after not playing for 3 years. You know.
Right, yeah.
um. So okay. So I agree with everything, and in fact, since I just did that injury update, I'm going to change my score. I had it 34-21 Bills, but I'm going to make it 34-13 Bills.
Yeah,
And
I
I'll
think
tell
they're
you
going to wax
this.
him. They're going to wax him.
If I'll say this too, if Christian McCaffrey doesn't have at least 15 carries in this game and they lose, Shanahan's on the watch
Well, he should have 20 touches.
easily. Last week he did. He wasn't even close last week. It was really crazy. It's hard to like. He just falls off the rail sometimes. It's just interesting. I don't know, man. It's going to be fascinating to watch as how this team handles its decline and see if it can right the ship or if it's the end. You know what I mean? I don't know what to make of it.
Yep.
All right, my man. Now, last one of the week. Um, and the one cool thing about this game is I'm looking forward to getting to see the Broncos play and watch No Picks Bo Nix as he's ascended to arguably the best quarterback in the rookie quarterback in the league. As of right now, he's
Yeah.
it's gotten close with him and Daniels for sure, and that's Browns at Broncos.
Yeah, not a great game. A great game in the 80s.
Oh my god, I almost shot water out of my nose.
Hey, Browns Broncos in the 80s was a dog fight.
Where's Ernest Biner?
Yeah, Bernie Kosar. All right, and John Elway breaking their hearts.
Yep.
28-12 Denver. They're just a better team playing better with a better quarterback. Everything's just better, 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 better. I can't pick Cleveland going on the road to beat Denver, and a team that has surprised this year, but pleasantly surprised. Surprised me in all the best ways. I can't see them losing this game. I don't want them to lose this game. I want to keep feeling good about them every week and keep seeing them play well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that may one of the maybe two or three most pleasant surprises in the NFL this year for sure, along with San Diego and maybe Minnesota. Right? Um, yeah, it's something to see. The no picks Bo Nix ascension to being a very good quarterback has been something to watch. And the
And
Broncos
it's
D
real.
is
It's real.
it's real. It's really real. And their defense is no joke. They're listen, they're gonna be a hard out in the playoffs. They play a style of football that is gonna be a tough out. Like I'm not gonna pick them if they have to go to Buffalo or anything, but I don't think anybody's gonna want to see them, you know?
And, like if they play a team like Houston, they're going to mop the floor with them.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's the kind of first round matchup for sure that would be interesting to see. And right now I'd take the Broncos to mop the floor with them, like you said. Um, so yeah, this is the Broncos for me. I made it semi close because Jameis will go crazy in garbage time and throw a touchdown or two, make it 26-19 Broncos.
All right. And that's
Ah,
the week, man.
that is the week. I have a couple quick true and falses if you have it in you.
Absolutely.
Okay, just a couple. There's just three this week. If I can find my darn page. Where were you? Okay, I got it. Okay, first one, and we touched on this a little bit before. I kind of know how you feel about it already, and I understand, but I want to talk about it a little bit. Saquon Barkley will win the MVP.
False.
I agree.
If there
But
was not a quarterback playing well, then like that's how I think it's got to happen for a running back or anybody other than a quarterback to win. There's got to be no clear cut quarterback. Got to be kind of like a down year for quarterbacks, and there's got to be an absolutely amazing year from a running back or a receiver or whoever else. Now Saquon is having the amazing year. The problem is Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are probably both going to finish ahead of him.
Yeah, man. No, it's interesting. But here's the cool thing about listen, I'm with you. If I had to guess, false. But the interesting thing is, this is the first time it's even been a conversation in like 15 years. Since, I don't remember it even being close since Adrian Peterson won, right? I
Yeah,
mean, maybe we're forgetting something, but I don't remember it at all.
no,
Uh,
I mean, well, that's because Saquon's been that good, so he's
absolutely.
absolutely deserves that. So I can I wouldn't mind at all if he got it. I kind of get annoyed at the fact that they just hand it over to the quarterbacks every year, but I don't. It's not like Lamar and Josh are having bad years. We're both having very good years that are playing quarterback, and that's just the state of the league right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. Do you know how many yards Barkley's on pace for?
It's got to be over 2,000, right?
2151.
Yeah,
Now, if he runs for 2,151 yards and has like 20 to 25 touchdowns,
he might get it anyway.
the conversation gets a lot tougher. The conversation gets a
Yeah,
lot tougher.
but he's going to need something like that to
Right,
do it. I mean, if
right.
he slows down a little bit, or gets 17 touchdowns in 1,800 yards, he's not going to get it,
No, I agree with that 100%. 100%.
which would still be great. A great year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's interesting. And yeah, I just find it fascinating that it's even a conversation.
Yep.
Now, we also touched on this one. The 49ers will not make the playoffs.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I'm feeling that that's true.
So do I. I'm with you. And 3 weeks ago, we both were picking them to win the division.
I think we did caveat it a little bit. I think we both kind of said, we're picking them, but it's definitely iffy. Like we were not
Oh,
like
absolutely.
really
But in the
bold with
true or
it.
false of it, we both said true.
Right, right. We weren't real confident in it though.
No, for sure, for sure. We've never been confident about this division all season.
Yeah, and by the way, if you had to tell me who to pick, I have no idea.
Oh my God, who? Yeah, like I mean, tied
You
for the
gonna go
lead
with
right now.
you gonna go with the Cardinals?
Tied for the lead of the Cardinals and the Seahawks.
Yeah,
I feel
and the
better
Ram
about
and
the
aren't the
Rams
Rams
than
just
both of
one?
them.
Aren't the Rams one game behind them?
Yeah, and I feel better about them than both of the teams in the lead right now. But I don't feel that great about the Rams either. So I don't know, man. I don't know. So yeah, I'm with you. False, but it also wouldn't surprise me if they won the division.
Yes, yes.
All
Just
right.
go on a run, get healthy, and win the last like 5 games in a row.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, man. Ah, yeah. It's gonna be funny to go back and look at all these different ebbs and flows of this division and see where it lands in the end. All right, last one. And I already know your answer to this, but it's just kind of fun to talk about because we talked about this earlier. Again, the Eagles are the biggest threat to the Lions in the NFC.
Oh, absolutely true.
Yeah, yeah.
In
I
fact,
thought
if
so
they
too.
played in Philly, I might pick them to win the game. But I'm assuming it's going to get played in Detroit, in which I would probably pick Detroit. But either way, they're definitely the second best threat. I mean, who else are you going to pick?
Yeah, I mean
Green,
the only other
the
team
other one would be Green Bay.
that's exactly what I was going to say, Craig. That's the only other team. Even though the Vikings are a game ahead of them right now, I still look at the Packers as a better team, and they're the to me they're the I would way rather play the Vikings in the playoffs than the Packers as an Eagle fan.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, I think it's absolutely true that the Eagles are definitely the biggest threat. And in the AFC
That's what I was
right
going to ask next.
now,
Awesome, because we're assuming the Bills are the best team right now. Are you're with me on that? I assume.
yep. And the Bills are the best team. I don't know between Kansas City and Baltimore. I guess I'd have to go Kansas City just because the record and I mean Baltimore's lost what 4 games?
Yes, and by the way, the Steelers have a better record than Baltimore right now.
Right, but I'm still. I don't. I know we keep saying things like this. We gotta put them up there, but I still can't. Um, I'll go Buffalo and Kansas City are the equivalent of Detroit and the Eagles. Those are the top four.
Yeah, that makes sense. I have to give it to Kansas City just because of what we watched last year, looking a lot like this year, and they won the damn Super Bowl. So I'm with you there. Yeah, I'm with you. But it wouldn't surprise me if either the Steelers or the Ravens, especially the Ravens, busted into that.
Or Green Bay.
Or Green Bay, right? Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's
Yep.
like the elite of the NFL right now to me. Those all those teams that you just mentioned.
Yep. I totally agree. They're the teams that are out of the muck.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Good, excellent work. I love it. Well, that's the true and false for the week, my man.
All righty. Well, we finished both of them. Hopefully, you guys joined us for the review one last week, week 12 review. This was the week 13 preview. Hopefully, you enjoyed it. Al, do you have anything else to add?
No, man, no. Just another fun week. Can't wait to see how this week pans out.
Yep, it has been. The last few weeks have really ramped up. They've been good weeks. Every single week has been excellent and just really good games. I think you said it a couple weeks ago. This league just continues to deliver, even sometimes in spite of itself.
Yeah,
It still
that's all.
delivers every single week, in spite
Well
of the
put.
doofus commissioner and some of the dumb decisions and all the penalties and the bad penalties and some bad decisions by coaches and GMs and ownership and everything else. It delivers every single week.
Amen to that, my man. Yes, no doubt. You can put this game in Europe to our annoyance. You can put it in South America. You can do whatever you want to it, and it delivers. You are
Play
100%
play
correct.
some Christmas games on a Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. That's
What week
crazy.
do those count for? The week before, or the week after?
I don't even know. I haven't looked at it yet, and I can't even imagine. I mean, what are the?
I've been assuming it's the next week. Like they,
I
but
think,
wait a
yeah.
minute, are they going to play on Sunday and Wednesday? No, they can't do that. They got to be off the week before, or that's got to be the Sunday. That's got to be the week before. That's got to count for that Sunday.
Is that why there's a week 14 bye? Is Christmas week 15?
Chris, I don't know. You have to look at the schedule. Because yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, they can't play Sunday and Wednesday. There's no way.
No, I would assume that at the very least they're gonna do like a Saturday or a Thursday game for those teams, or a Friday or something to space it out a little more. But I didn't even realize.
Or is it the start of the next week?
Let me see here, because the Eagles
I
aren't.
don't know how it works.
That's crazy, man. Because you're either because the week before is the 22nd, the week after is the 29th. So you're either 3 days or 4 days away from your next game.
Well, the 4 days at least is like equivalent to playing on Thursday.
That's true. Let me see who's playing. I don't even know who's playing on Christmas.
Well, I know it's difficult. Is there any way you could do like the weekly schedule so you could see what week they're in?
It looks like it'll be, let's see, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so the December 22nd is week 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's either week 16 or week 17. And I can't find, I have to see who is playing on Christmas Day.
It's Kansas City, I think.
Okay, that's all I need. I can look up the Chiefs schedule and find it from there. Awesome. Thank you.
I believe.
Schedule.
You know what? I'm not entirely sure now that I think about it.
No, you're right. You're right. They're, oh my goodness. What a game. They're playing the Steelers.
Right. Okay.
So
When's the
let's
game
see.
before?
The game before. Okay, so it's for the week of the Eagles are playing on. It's the week 17. So the Eagles are playing on the 29th. and the Chiefs. That's the week the Chiefs play on the 25th. Does that make sense?
Okay, so it's the following week it counts as.
Correct. The following week, it's week 17. Yes,
So it's the start of week 17.
correct.
So what is their week 16 game? Are they off week 16?
Nope, they're playing the Texans on December 21st. So they have that 4-day thing.
Oh, Saturday. They're playing Saturday.
Yeah, they moved it to Saturday. Yep, that's what it was. So they gave them that. It's like a Thursday game. So at least it's
And then
something
they're
that.
off. Then they're off for like 11 days.
Yeah, they play on the 25th and don't play again until the 5th.
Jeez, they're gonna have quite the break.
Yeah, man. And at that point in the season, by the way, they might be so far ahead of the Broncos that they won't have to play anybody.
Yeah. So that you got to grin and bear it for a little bit, but then you get a nice little break. You got from Wednesday to the following Sunday
Yeah, that's hey, that's a good way to make it up. You
for
know,
them and the Steelers.
right? Exactly.
You watch. This league is going to start doing Wednesday games.
Oh my, yeah. Ugh, gross.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're right.
On that note,
I love it.
all right, Al. As always, a lot of fun. Full disclosure to people listening to this, it is almost 2 o'clock in the morning as we're doing this. Time for bed. I'm getting out of my car finally. All right.
Oh, and on the full disclosure note, yes, you did the whole this whole pod in your garage, in your car, because you're a very considerate person.
Well, yes, my son, my grown son. He's not young. He's young, but he's not a kid.
Right.
Has work in the morning, and we can be a little bit boisterous and loud and laugh and everything. I didn't want to wake him up, so I just got was driving home, got home, and just stayed in my driveway while we did the pod.
That's how much we love to talk football. And smart move too, because no matter how loud you are, I might be even louder coming through your phone because I'm pretty loud.
It's all good. We got it done. Once again, everybody, thank you for joining us. We see the views have been going up, so we appreciate that. If you want to
Yes.
leave any comments, that'd be great. Any questions, that would also be great. But we definitely appreciate the views and the likes and all that good stuff. And until next week, Al, when we review week 13 and preview week 14, until then, I will see you later.